Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Belinda von Mengersen. My role at ACU is the Discipline Lead for Design and Technologies. So I'd just really like to welcome everybody and especially prospective technology students to this presentation this afternoon. This afternoon, we're going to introduce you to some of the aspects of the course and the things you might be thinking about and what you might like to consider prior to enrolment. So you can see that the course is called the Bachelor of Education Secondary, Bachelor of Arts Technology. So it is a dual degree and you'll study units in education and technology during this degree. This degree is your first step towards becoming a TAS teacher. So it's a very important step, and you undertake this degree. We're very hands-on in design and technology, so we work in practical labs and workshops, as you would imagine. So you do a combination of those education units and technology units, and in those technology units, it's a very, very hands-on environment. So you get to, you get to make things, you get to do things, and you get to design things, as you would imagine in a TAS environment. So you will, in New South Wales, you'll be called a TAS teacher, and that stands for Technology and Applied Studies teacher. And this degree qualifies you to be a secondary high school teacher for design and technology. And we have a number of different areas. So your main area that you'll focus on is design and technology, and then you have a number of different areas that you can choose to specialise in. So you learn to design products and all the creative and practical challenges that come with teaching design and technology, industrial design, product design, food technology and textiles. So there's different areas that you can specialise in, but in this degree you'll get a taste in all of those, and that is specifically to equip you to teach technology mandatory and design and technology. We work in this very hands-on environment. We have 5 labs and workshops, and you'll get to use all of the equipment in those workshops, and you'll learn to use it as you go along, and then you'll, in the end, you'll learn to use it very independently. So by the time you graduate, you'll be using it independently. So for this degree, the Bachelor of Education Secondary Bachelor of Arts Technology, it is a dual degree, so it's 2 degrees in one, and that means that you get, and students prefer this degree because it is the 2 degrees in one, because you get your technology units and you get your education units all as one under one umbrella. It's a 4-year full-time or equivalent part-time. It's an on-campus degree to allow you to have plenty of time in the workshops and labs. And there is an accelerated mode, or you can do it as an equivalent part-time mode. And that provides you with the transcript. And then you take that transcript to NESA and you apply for your teaching codes in your design and technologies or your other technologies areas that you've focused on. So the mode has there's a couple of different mode options. So sometimes you might need to speed your degree up or slow it down, but essentially you're looking at a 4-year full-time commitment. The entry requirements in New South Wales, your assumed knowledge, is a minimum of 3 Band 5 HSC results, including 1 in English and 2 units of mathematics in Band 4. But there are other options, so we'll go through some of those as well. So if you don't meet these requirements, there are other pathways through which you can enter this program. You also need to think about completing a suitability for teaching statement. And this is a statement that really talks about why do you want to become a teacher and what's your motivation for that. So these are the kinds of questions that you'll be asked. And this is the same for all applicants. For this degree comes under the banner, if you like, of initial teacher education. So it's initial teacher training, and we would describe you as pre-service teachers. That's teachers in training. You need to satisfy a mixture of academic and non-academic entry requirements. And this one's one of the non-academic ones. So if you don't meet all of the academic requirements, there are other pathways. And this is one of the non-academic requirements that all prospective students will need to consider. So it's a written statement, and it talks about what's inspired you to become a teacher and why is teaching a good choice for you. You might describe some opportunities that you've been engaged in that have inspired you and how you plan to manage your time. So how you balance your study and your work life, and how, how you've used problem solving skills. So what is the case with many of our TAS students in this program is that they're very inspired by their design and technology or industrial technology teachers, or their food or their textile teachers at school. And that may be the case for you. So if you've been very inspired by your teacher, they may have encouraged you to consider this type of program. So that would be the kind of thing you might like to put in this application, this part of the application. And that's the case for a lot of our students. We find that it's very common that they've been inspired by their own teachers. Another common thing would be they may have been inspired by their parents or grandparents or family friends who work with their hands, or they design or make things, and that they would be inspired to pass that on. So that's one way you could approach this, but obviously it's a statement that you will have thought about anyway if you're considering to enrol in this course. Why would you like to become a teacher, and what does that mean to you? So these are some of the things that are included in the Bachelor of Education Secondary, Bachelor of Arts Technology. It's a very full program, and obviously the whole design of the program is to equip you to go out and start working in the field immediately. Actually, many of our students, they start working sometimes at the end of year 3. So, and obviously you do lots of practical work and experience, and that is built up during the degree. So the degree has a mixture of education studies units, effective teaching units, so thinking about your curriculum and pedagogy and how you do assessment, secondary curriculum studies, you do electives and discipline studies units, you do your technology major, which for you guys will be a design and technology major, and then you choose your technology electives, and they help you specialise in the areas that you're more interested in. So you might be interested in industrial technology, timber or metal. You might be interested in mechatronics and robotics. You might be interested in graphics, textiles or food technology. So textiles and design, all of those are options in terms of electives. So you can tailor this program to suit your own individual aims and aspirations with becoming a TAS teacher. In TAS, we would recommend that you need to be an all-rounder, that you should experience all of these areas, and that's how the program's designed. So we have 8 specified or core units in technology, and that gives you a taste of everything to deliberately equip you for technology mandatory and design and technology, and then you choose to go on and specialise, and that's where you choose your technology electives. There is a compulsory computing minor. So the computing minor is digital technology. So most of you will be familiar with the ACARA, the Australian National Curriculum. And ACARA shows us that digital technologies and design and technologies work hand in hand. And our understanding is that this is what's required now in the schools, that you need to be across design technologies and digital technologies. So that's why that minor is compulsory, and we feel that then it partners and provides you with the best skill set possible. Obviously then too, you really build those skills, particularly in things like programming, graphics and multimedia. That will, those computing units are not just about computing and ICT, they're very much how the digital technologies works in subjects like technology mandatory with the new syllabus and curriculum, and they're very much giving you additional CAD skills, graphic design skills and programming skills, and all of those feed into your practical areas. There are 2 university core curriculum units that you'll do, and those are really about lived ethics or lived experience. And there's professional community experience. So that happens in 2 ways in design and technology. So you will go out and do community experience work, actually 3 ways: community experience, opportunities through core curriculum and other units. You will go out and do your professional internship in an area in technology. So you might do that in industrial tech timber, and you might work with a boat builder or a cabinet maker. Or you might go and work in a hospitality kitchen or work in another environment. Say it could be food styling or something like that. If you're interested in food, if you're interested in textiles, you might go work with a costume designer or a milliner or someone who's making bags. So there's that type of professional experience to help you build your practical or technical skills. And also, of course, there's your education professional experience where you go out into schools and you begin to practice your teaching. It's really important to note that there is an additional test that is required, and that's the literacy and numeracy diagnostic. We call that LANTITE for short. And just to let you know that there are specific units and there's a lot of help available for that. And those units help to prepare you for that. So most of you are probably really interested to know, okay, what's included in the technology major and what are those technology elective options and what's included in the computing minor. So on this next slide, you'll see what you can specialise in. So everybody specialises essentially in design and technology, and you'll get a taste of all of these aspects. So all of these areas: industrial design in metal, timber and plastics. You'll get a taste of electromechanical, including Arduino and programming. You'll build up your CAD skills, so your computer-aided design skills, through many of these units. So you'll learn to do computer-aided design. And the computer-aided design will take you into computer-aided manufacturing. So CAD/CAM, computer-aided design, and then computer-aided manufacturing. And then also you'll have a chance to develop programming skills and use components like Arduino components. So the computer-aided manufacturing is something that we're really building in the program. And we have other main areas that you can specialise in. So food technology, really focusing on product development and nutrition. Textiles and design, focusing on things like electronic textiles, costume design, surface design, making your own fabrics, direct digital printing and so forth. We do quite a bit of graphics and multimedia throughout all of these units. And in the computing minor, you learn about information processes and technology, software technology, and you learn more about programming, in particular graphics and multimedia, so creating your own websites and developing those graphic skills with programs like InDesign, Illustrator and Photoshop. And many of those programs, as I mentioned before, all of that knowledge combined is what helps to prepare you to go out and be a very effective TAS teacher in your school. So we think about how all of these things come together. And it doesn't matter that in school maybe you only did one of these subjects or you only had a tiny taste of one of them. We will take you through, the lecturers and the tutors here will take you through all of these subjects from the basic level, and then you'll choose which ones you want to specialise in. But you're coming here to learn. We do not expect you to know all of this already. Examples of computer-aided manufacturing are laser cutting and 3D printing, for instance. And it could be digital embroidery design in textiles, and in food, for instance, we're doing food moulding, and so we're really, one of the things we're really aiming to do more and more is to not treat any of these as isolated areas, as may have been done in the past. So we've got students making 3D printed moulds and bringing that back into food technology and casting that mould with plastic and creating a chocolate mould. And if we had the live, if we were able to do our open day live today, you would have been able to come and see all of that happening on campus. So you would have been able to see all the 3D printing, the laser cutting, the digital embroidery and the food chocolate moulding and things like that happening on campus. So we really look forward to welcoming you and showing you all of those processes and techniques. This is a sample study map for you. So just to show you what what kind of units you'll be studying. This one's relatively general, just to give you a sense of the breakdown of those units. So in the first year, you introduce to some education units, and then you start thinking about discipline units. Now, discipline units here are technology units, and discipline units for you will be technology units and computing units. So we will be thinking about building those skills throughout. So throughout your degree, like you can see in this particular map, example map of your first year, you'll do a mix of education units here, like understanding, learning and teaching, and discipline units or technology and computing units like here. Here you'll start your preparation for your land type. And you'll see here that you'll be learning all about digital technologies as well. And then you'll work through, so you'll start off with 100 level units in design and technologies, and you'll work through to the more advanced level units. So you get a very specific map in technology, which makes it easy to follow, but you can see here that each year will be a mix of units. In each semester of each year, approximately you do 4 units. So see here 1, 2, 3, 4. But here you can see there's a 5th unit, a 0 credit point unit, and here you can see the normal breakup of 4 units. Most units are 10 credit points. This stands for 10 credit points. So you'll do 40 credit points or 4 units a year. A semester, 8 units a year. And in this case, this is an additional unit, and that's an online unit to help you prepare for land type. So sometimes we have these additional things on the map which are designed to help you, and sometimes those provide opportunities like catching up on a unit in winter or summer school or that kind of thing. So, but these are really our normal teaching periods. So semester 1 and semester 2 are our standard teaching periods. But there are some units available in other semesters which provide flexibility. So here's a picture of one of our students working in the textiles lab. You can see here that we do different types of professional development and experience. So community engagement will be a minimum of 35 hours, and you can see that we build that up. So you can see that your professional experience, and this is relating in particular from year 2, you go out into schools and you start to do your teacher, you're practicing in schools to be a teacher. So you're doing your professional development and you're doing it in schools. So you don't go out to schools until year 2, and you can see that in year 2 it's 15 days, year 3 it's 15 days, and in year 4 it's 5 days and then 30 days. So that's your big final prac. So you're building up that amount of time that you're out in the community and that you're practicing your teaching. So where does this degree lead you? This is a double degree or a dual degree. It takes you to, it basically means that you're eligible for accreditation to be a TAS teacher in New South Wales. At the moment, there is a pending accreditation for other states, which would enable you to transfer your qualifications into other states. But at the moment, you're eligible for registration as a secondary teacher in government, independent, Catholic or faith-based schools. So it's really important to note that just because it's a Catholic university where you achieve your degree, this does not limit your career path. You can go into any of these school systems. So that could be private, public or Catholic school systems in future. And your qualification will take you into all of those schools. So you apply, once you've got your transcript from ACU, this picture's taken in the timber room, by the way, and they're working on a lathe here. You take your accreditation and you apply to become a teacher. You apply through the accreditation body, which is NESA in New South Wales. And that's the New South Wales Education Standards Authority. With secondary education, as I mentioned, if you don't meet all of the academic criteria, there are other pathways that you can consider. So you might look at some of these alternative pathways. So you can basically enrol in another area. You can enrol in another sort of degree program which will lead you into this dual degree. So it's not the full degree, it's not the final one, but you would enter into sort of like a preliminary degree. You would start another degree first. and that is a pathway. And if you prove yourself in that degree, then you would be able to transfer, apply to transfer into the Bachelor of Education Secondary. So if you're in that situation, there are these other pathways, including these here. So you might enrol in a straight Bachelor of Arts and do some technology units in there, Diploma of Liberal Arts, Diploma in Education Studies. So for a student who doesn't meet the prerequisites, you can enrol into this one first and prove yourself and then transfer into the degree, or a Bachelor of Education Studies. So there's quite a few different options. So the best thing to do is to have a look at the accompanying information, and you might contact Student Services and Ask ACU is the name of our student services. So you might contact them and discuss personally the best option for you. Sometimes you can have international experiences. Obviously this year's been an anomaly, but normally there are the options for international experiences, and sometimes these take place in the core units. And there are some scholarships available, and so when it is safe to travel, that is an option for some students. The types of scholarships that are available at the moment specifically for areas of high demand. So technologies and applied studies, otherwise known as TAS, which is our area, so design and technologies. And we would include that, and we would say that that is an area of very high demand, which means there's lots of schools looking for TAS teachers, and all of our students, some recent research has shown that all of our students are employed within a very short time period, and there's actually 100% employment. So if you're wondering about your prospects with this degree, I can assure you that our research recently shows that 100% of our graduates are employed very, very quickly. These are the scholarships are available. It's important to remember that they're really focusing the greatest need. There's a need generally for TAS teachers, but the greatest need is for industrial technology teachers here. So if you're planning to come into this degree and major in industrial technology, I would encourage you to consider looking at this particular scholarship. So there's a bit more information about that here, but you can see also if you're interested in this information about high demand, you might refer to this website here. So it's thinking about this Department of Education report, the Teacher Workforce Supply and Demand report. And these are the areas, so TAS is a really important area in schools because of technology mandatory in 7 and 8, but also because it's such an important area in STEM. So TAS is a really growing area, and we have so many exciting new technologies, laser cutting, 3D printing. There's just so much going on in design and technologies that it's a very important area for high schools, and they really want more technologies teachers. So these are the areas in high demand. Not all of them make you eligible for a scholarship, but it certainly assures you of getting a job really quickly. So this is just a testament from one of our students. What I can tell you is the students in this degree, because you move together as a crew and you do a lot of subjects together, and the students in this degree tend to become really good mates. They help each other. Like I was down in the workshop yesterday, and the industrial tech timber guys are saying, you know, we help the girls who want to specialise in textiles and food, or the students who want to specialise in textiles and food, we help them when they come into the industrial workshop, and they help us when we go into food and textiles. There's a real camaraderie, and I would like to say that this group become a crew, and they help each other so much through their studies, and they go on to help each other. So they stay in touch, and they help each other with different things in the future. So they might ring each other up and say, well, what project are you guys doing at your school, and which laser cutter did you buy, and that kind of thing. So they're always really helping each other. So it's a very welcoming community. Most students who come into this degree program stay and finish the course, even if it takes them a little bit longer, if they have something happen along the way. Most students it's got the highest retention rate of many degrees, and that's because students who come into this really often are very focused on what they want to do, and they know where they're going and they know why they're here. So it's really, it's a very focused degree, and you can see here that there's some students working in the textiles lab. They're doing some screen printing here, and they're working with fabrics that they've designed and printed themselves. Here in the industrial workshop, they're designing and manufacturing robots, and they're controlling them with Arduino, and here they're learning to program them. So they do, in that workshop, they're designing and making those pieces using the laser cutter 3D printer. They're programming them, and they're doing the whole thing, and then they're running those robots or those control systems. You can see them here. They're working in the metal workshop, by the way. So we've got traditional and we've got new innovative workshops. You can see our new 3D printers here. We recently got a new suite of 3D printers. These are the workshop facilities, and if you're on campus, obviously you could come and have a look. The option here is to have a look at virtual campus tours. So there is a campus tour that you can do a virtual tour using the link here, and these are the workshop facilities that we have. These 5 workshops: timber, metal, and a rapid prototyping workshop that's lots to do with laser cutting, plastics, 3D printing, electronics. We've got a food laboratory, and we've got a textiles laboratory. At the end of the year, we have a technology exhibition. So we have an annual exhibition. All the schools come, the teacher organisations, and we put on a big display of students' major projects. And this brings all the families onto campus, and we get to see everybody's achievements. This tends to happen at the end of year 3 for our students. And it's a big showcase of all of their work, and we have prizes on the night, and we really, it's a really exciting culmination of all your hard work during the degree. So this is a really big event during the year for us, and we all work together. And what happens is the teacher organisations love to come to this event, and they welcome you to join their associations, and they help guide you about professional development and what it's like in the field. And then we have a lot of schools coming looking for prospective graduates to come and teach in their schools. So it's a really nice professional opportunity, and you get to show off your work to your friends and family. So I'm going to just open up for questions now. If anyone has a question that they would like to ask, you'll be welcome to ask that question now through the feed. So what I can say as well is that there is a Zoom session following this session, and that is a chance for one-on-one Q&A. If you prefer to ask your questions in more of a one-on-one environment, that is an option. So the Zoom session will follow on from this one. So when you're finished with this session, you can log into the Zoom question, and I'll be available for quite a while to answer any student questions that you might have, and anything to do with the degree, or questions like RPL, or what it's really like on campus, or you can ask me any of those questions in the Zoom session. So I can't see any questions popping up at the moment, but perhaps someone, if anyone would like a question, you can certainly put that in the live event Q&A through this session, or you can drop into the Zoom meeting, which will commence very soon. Okay, so I'll just remind everybody, my name is Belinda, and I'll be hosting the Zoom session following on from this session. And that will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. And just to say that there's one-on-one question opportunity there. There's lots more information on the Open Day website, the ACU Open Day website. And so you can always look at that information, and there are lots of documents and information there that will help you help you look for more information about the course or understand all the opportunities here at ACU. But if you'd like to ask me in person, please feel free to come to the Zoom session, which will commence soon. So we've got our first question, and it's saying, can I major in a subject I haven't ever done at school, like timber? And the question is absolutely yes, you can. So we wouldn't expect or assume that you have any preliminary knowledge. We obviously have a mix of students. Some students come in here, they've already got a carpentry apprenticeship. Some students have never been in a timber workshop. So our job will be to train you to work with timber, and that you'll learn everything to do with timber and textiles and food in a very supportive environment. So you're not expected to know those things in advance. So you can specialise in industrial technology timber, even if you're not able to do it at school. Yes. And that goes for any of the subject areas. So. Okay, we've just got a very short amount of time left. If anyone else has another question, now would be the time. Now would be the time to ask. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for your attention today. It was really it's my pleasure to welcome you to ACU, any prospective graduates. This is a thriving program. The university's investing a lot into this program, and we really want to see new enrolments and to encourage you to come and join us in design technologies and to have an opportunity to become TAS teachers in future.